Welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Weather. We have a whiteboard, and of course we have weather, so let's get into it. And don't be scared, it's me. Maybe I should just put the mask here for now so you can hear me a bit clearer, but obviously Halloween is on Friday. Got a busy weather setup to talk about. Now, if you are trick-or-treating, do keep in mind that we are expected to see a little bit of rough weather here or there. So let's talk about Halloweens in the past. If you remember, last year in 2024, it was the record warmest Halloween ever in the Northeast Pennsylvania area with a high of 79 degrees on Halloween. I wasn't here, but you probably really enjoyed that, 79 degrees. And then the year before in 2023, the high was 47 degrees. So this time of year, we know we can be warm, we can be very chilly, and we can even get some snow or rain this time of year. It's only snowed measurably once, and that was in 1993, where 1.9 inches of snow fell at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Airport, which is where we receive our data. Now, something that I'm tracking is rainfall. Now, 9 out of the last 15 years, it has rained at some point on Halloween. It feels like a little bit of a curse. It feels like it's rained more often than not on Halloween. And this year, yeah, we're going to expect some rainfall, but it's not in the way that you think it is. Okay, so we have a mini map alert. This is Michigan. These are the Great Lakes. This is Long Island, and juggling the markers. Here is us in Pennsylvania. So what I'm tracking is this low pressure that will be forming somewhere in the deep south, and that will be bringing up a whole bunch of moisture and rainfall. But thankfully, this all happens on Thursday, most of it. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, a big amount of rain. We're talking about 1 upward to 2 even higher inches of rainfall with this system. But thankfully, all the moisture and all of it will be heading out just in time for trick-or-treating. So I think you can call this a bit of a treat. We get the rainfall that we need, because we certainly need some rainfall, and we get the clearing just in time for the Halloween festivities. But something also I want to note is low pressure systems, especially when they're strong, they have tightly wound contours or areas of pressure. Now with this one, it's going to be so tight that it's going to start creating some pretty strong and gusty winds along with it. This is going to be a fairly gusty system, and even as it heads to the north and east, we're going to be left behind with some wind. So wind is the primary threat that I'm tracking with this system. So we're talking 30 to 35 mile an hour gusts. So do keep those proper precautions. If you're dressed like a ghost like this guy, may have to be strapped down or taped down. If you're wearing a hat, that may fly off. So definitely do be prepared for some windy conditions, but at least it should be staying mainly dry for those Halloween festivities. Now, I want to switch it up a bit, and I want to talk about this. So 13 years ago, right before Halloween, we had a different low pressure system, and it was tropical. I'm talking about Hurricane Sandy, which made landfall October 29th, 2012. And we just had a different hurricane, Hurricane Melissa, and I want to compare the two. So the pressure with Hurricane Sandy at landfall in New Jersey was 945 millibars. That's a very, very strong low pressure system. With Melissa, which just set a record for the strongest landfall ever, had 892 millibar pressure at landfall, significantly stronger. The wind speed with Hurricane Sandy at landfall, the maximum sustained was about 80 miles per hour, with some gusts up to 90 miles per hour. With Hurricane Melissa at landfall, it set a record with 185 mile per hour winds, not millibars, miles per hour winds, and gusts were seen upwards of 220 plus miles per hour with that system. So Sandy, obviously devastating impacts, but Melissa, even stronger. But the main difference between these two, both were tropical systems, but the size of them. Hurricane Sandy's tropical force winds extended 600 miles from its center, but Melissa only 200 miles. So I wanted to give a little comparison between the two. So Hurricane Sandy made landfall on October 29th, 2012. Melissa, October 28th, 2025. And you can see the main difference, the size and the strength of Melissa was much, much stronger. Obviously, two different types of hurricanes, two different types of effects that could be had. So yeah, that's your edition of Whiteboard Weather for this week. Remember, only take one piece of candy, or I'll come for you. No, only take one piece of candy. If they say, maybe take two at most. But thanks for tuning into this edition of Whiteboard Weather. My name is Anthony Bordanaro here in the Stormtracker 16 Weather Center. Thank you for tuning in. And next week, we got more weather to talk about. But for now, see you later.